Hey everyone! Yes, we got some breaking news. No, just kidding.
I know. I was like, "What? We got breaking news."
I know I hit the wrong button. That's on me. That was all there. But hey, it happens. We had a busy last week, so it kind of just goes with everything. You flew in late last night. I drove back
Yeah,
on Sunday, after the event. So, those of you that have been following social media, you don't know that Chad and I were at going caching in Rome, Georgia this last week with a lot of the GTN crew, just having so much fun running all over the place and seeing some great caches and just having a great time with each other. So
yeah. That event is amazing. If you just like visiting with people and having 5 days of different things every day, and
yeah,
I highly recommend that event.
yeah, there's so much that goes on. And in fact, we're going to go into one of the aspects tonight, on here, and as we're talking about how to add some really creativity to your caches, not necessarily gadget caches, which you can do these with gadget caches, but also with just any cache, just adding some creativity just to make it really cool. But before we get to that, we have to take care of our sponsors. So let's hear from our sponsors. If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine Write in the Rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today. All right. So I'm seeing a lot of people over here already in the chat. Of course, we got Tricassius coming in with us. And we got, of course, Tom Brotherman's over here, always with us. Just finding our way down in Arizona. Good evening. We always have. And Dave's saying the tension is building, so we're building that tension for tonight.
That was for the breaking news, I think.
That's what I think so, too. And then we got Mini Mag over in California. And then also we got Darren down in Australia out there. And once again, we got Neil Moore on tonight. So up here, Force Awakens. I see Force Awaken in here. They're having a conversation before we started because Dave evidently took a nap and they didn't realize there were.
Doesn't everybody take naps?
No.
I laid down at 1 and woke up at like 4 today.
Yeah, did not have that capability of being able to do that today. So yeah, then we got from Georgia here, Victoria, Cash the Line, Audie is on here. So we got a whole bunch of people in here. Pre-show nap is what Dave was calling that. And then we got GCD SK11 is on tonight. So just a really great crowd on tonight. So I just really want to thank everybody for being here and being with us live. And if you're listening to this later on, hey, it's a lot of fun being live, but I'm glad you're with us as well. So,
yeah.
All right, Chad, tell us a little bit about what we're all kind of going to be, a little bit more of what we're going to be doing tonight. I know. I'm throwing it at you all of a sudden.
No, that's okay. So we are at Going Caching. When we were there, you do these puzzles to actually get a prize or part of the package there. And I think this was actually for the official coin.
Well, this is for the escape room.
Oh, this is for the escape room, to access the escape room.
Right.
So they had these puzzle boxes that you had to get into, or would you call them a puzzle box? Yeah, I guess you had to have a puzzle to get into them.
We had to solve a puzzle.
Yeah, you had to solve a puzzle to get into them. So you had to go around different towns, and they actually didn't give you a coordinate where they're at. They actually gave you a starting coordinate, and then they gave you clues around the town what to look for, like past the zebra, and then you'll see the butterflies, and turn at the Tin Man or something like
the one
that.
That took us the longest, that had the wrong, that we had the wrong coordinates for.
Yeah. So, but anyways, it was fun like that because you couldn't. It just didn't take you somewhere, and you had to find the box and figure it out. You actually had to go to an area, and then it would just give you some random clues, and you had to think about it. Like there was a gear, and then it was something about steampunk or something, and you had to think, oh, gear and steampunk. Okay, I have to go this way. And then some stuff was like the name of a street was spelled backwards or something. An alley was spelled backwards that you had to flip it around,
right?
And stuff. So, anyways, fun puzzles like that. Once you got there, you actually found the box, the puzzle box itself, that you had to use a code to get into. So you had to use a decipher that they provided for you if you bought the package deal to actually access the cache. And then once we got into the cache, what they did inside was really cool.
Right.
So
and we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Yeah, actually, we'll go into this whole thing. Everything we're talking about here, we're going to get into. Derek actually, he purchased one of these caches. So afterwards, the going caching, one thing that they do is they auction off stuff from the event to raise money, obviously, for the next year. They kind of have the same theory I have. I mean, I could build these, but all they do is sit around. I'd rather auction them off or give them to someone rather, so they don't sit around. So they auction them off. Derek purchased one. I think the best one there he purchased.
I love this one. This is really cool. But we're going to get into that. But
yeah.
So once again, I'm going to draw the suspense out on this before we show you that. So there's your little tease on there.
Yeah.
But
so what they did in the cache.
Yeah.
Sorry. To make it really impressive is kind of the design, just the different things they did to it. So I'll let you take it from there since you actually have it.
Right. But I'm not going to show that yet. Sorry. So one of the things we're talking about, how can you make a cache really cool? And even so, let's think. Do you have one of the Simon boxes there? Just a simple ammo can Simon box that we've built on the show before. All right. So this is
a scale. This is a chase, but same thing.
Okay. So there's a simple ammo can. Now that's cool itself because it's got LEDs, it's got buttons and everything. But what would be a way that we could maybe make that even better? And so just kind of be thinking about that, because I have some pictures of somebody that took one of those. No, actually I will not rehide it because it's this. I wouldn't trust this out in the wild.
No, I wouldn't put it out.
This is the type of material, it would need to be inside somewhere. So it's going to be keeping in my personal collection, and it'll eventually probably go back here under my back there. So but we can simply do something. Paint is really cool. Maybe even do it a really cool theme. So there's a lot of
different ways to embellish it, right? To make it look impressive.
And it doesn't have to be really super detailed either. I mean, really super fancy, just something really simple. All right. So enough drawing that part of it out. I'm going to go ahead and show you this cache. And we got this picture from somebody that bought one of the kits, and this is how they decorated it. As you can see, it says caution, press air release button location at center of breather valve before opening. Now, if you look at it closely, and it may be hard to see on your screens, but up in the top left corner of it, you might see that there is a ship. It's the Slave One from Star Wars, or Boba Fett's. There, it's just a really cool. Just adding the text on there, and then adding some of the. It looks like he's distressed it with some paint on there as well, and then adding the ship on there. Now, if we turn it,
and the lift here, I really like that on that.
Yeah, the lift here on the side of it looks really great too. But then if you actually, when he turns around, he's got one of the Boba Fett stickers. He's had some of the markings, and then you also see the helmet. So you kind of see how he did distressing of it, copied the distressing on the from the helmet itself. And when he actually put that on there, the sticker on there, he covered up the logo of the ammo can. I just realized that's what that was there when I saw your ammo can, Chad. That's just kind of covering up to keep it all in a really good theme. This is just a really great example of how you can do something with paint and stickers to make a cache look even better and add more of that factor to it. Unfortunately,
Yeah, he brushed it with some silver. It looks like there, right, to add a little, so it looks like it's metal and it's been rubbed on, so a little bit of aging.
Right. Now, unfortunately, he did such a great job. The day after he put it out, it got stolen.
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately.
And that's something that when you do put out a great cache that you have to be careful with. Just different ways that you can keep it from stealing. But he's already gotten another one on the way, so he's going to do it again. And I can't wait to see how that one turns out too. If he's going to keep with the same theme or if he's going to do something different. So yeah, and Jeff from Cache the Line is saying, nice paint job for the plastic ammo can. Yeah, that looked really cool. So that did he make it in PMO? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what PMO means.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those really cool ways. It's just a simple paint job can really make a cache look really great. Just that's how just adds that more ooh-ah factor instead of just putting a simple birdhouse out, which I know on my channel you'll see simple birdhouses going out. And a lot of times I don't do a lot of embellishment, but I'm getting more and more inspired all the time to do a much better finish work from a lot of the guests that we've had on here, from Rick, Piper Co, CO, from Colorado with his different ones that he's done, to a whole bunch of other ones. Of course, Rambacat's finish work is just mind-boggling. I love your finish work, Chad. And that finish work is what really you can take just about any cache and can add some finish work to it. And it doesn't even have to be a gadget, and it's going to add some really ooh-ah to it. And I just think that's just really cool.
So here they asked about where they can get one of the kits.
Oh, well, let me tell you. The easiest way, you can get it from the Geocache Talk Network website. Go to geocachetalk.com, and I'm going to pull that up here. You can go to geocachetalk.com, and I clicked on the wrong brand. Go there, and there's a store at the top, and you just you can click on that, and it will get you to the store Chromia print, and you just kind of go through there and search on it. We have a whole bunch of different kits on there. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the site real quick as we're talking. So Chad, if you'll kind of take over just for a second, I will pull up the site.
Yep, no problem. So when we're talking about embellishments, in fact, I ran into this at Going Caching. So those who didn't attend, Dave Wagner and myself made some caches for Going Caching this year. And on the front of all the containers, I put in just a simple geocache sticker. I always like to put that on because the caches that I make typically blend in so well, people don't want to touch them. The issue is with these stickers on there, they didn't go live for 2 days, and people were finding them. And the event forgot to put a lock on them beforehand. So there was FTFs on the cache, even though they weren't published and they weren't live yet. So it's kind of funny. So when you're embellishing the cache, anything looks good, but one of the most important things I think is one of these stickers. But be careful where you put it, because everybody, obviously, who is a geocache walked by, they know what that sticker is.
Right.
And so they actually got into it.
Now, do we have those stickers on the store itself?
I don't. I typically give these away at an event. I had like 300 of them with me at Going Caching, but
you did?
We can put them up. I can send you I got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, so, I like one of those. I have one that I'd like to put on there. I'll
just start adding them maybe to all of our kits.
So I'm going to pull up the page real quick, and this is Chromia print, and I see that it says sold out. These are not sold out, as far as I know. Correct?
No, they are sold. I had to mark that because I wasn't in town.
Okay.
To put kits back together, so he actually sold out. I told him just to put sold out on them for now, and then when I get back, which I haven't had time yet, I'll make some more kits and get them to him. I wanted to make sure I was in town to actually put the kits together and get them to him quick enough. I didn't want someone waiting 10 days before that gets shipped out to them.
Right. So there's the kits. You can get there's a Simon ammo can. You can get it with the can itself, without the can. And hey, you can always get the Geocache Talk, Gadget Talk coffee cup, and you can get those in all the other shows as well. But there's the Gadget Talk one. There's scales with or without the ammo can, and then also you can also get these as pre-built already, so they're already ready to go out. And
not up yet is
not
the
up
magic
yet.
blocks.
Okay. That's
not
what I was
up yet
looking for.
because I only have. I'm waiting for my laser cutter to come back online.
Okay. Yep. And we're not going to go into that tonight because that's been a sore subject all weekend. So that's where you can get any of these kits that we talked about, and that's where the kit with the Simon, the ammo can that they. I'm gonna pull up his name. I want to say his name correctly. Uber Geek. It's Dean. Uber Geek is who that was created that really cool Boba Fett ammo can. And I'm gonna pull that picture up one more time for those that did not get to see it. If you're just joining us, so there it is with a really cool paint job, and then that's one side of it, and then that's the other side. So that's just a really like we said, just a really cool way of being able to simply make a cache, add that ooh-ah factor to it just by a simple paint job. So now
I love the distressing. In fact, we can go over that at some point on how to do that too on the show.
Right. And like when we had Rick on and he was talking about how he was doing his different caches, and that's the embellishment on there, getting things from different hobby stores and adding trees to it and moss to the outside of the birdhouse, taking was it vinyl or paper, like paper wallpaper, and putting it on there, then coating it really well so it keeps it weatherproofing it. Just those simple embellishments really add so much to a cache, and that what really makes it gives that ooh-ah factor. And that's just one simple way to be able to do that. So all right, I think I've tap danced long enough and kind of drawn this around.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll go over your thing, and then I can show some of my embellishments or some stuff that I've done after this. Let's get this taken care of first and see if we have time.
All right, so here, all right, I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras. So here is the front of this box that we've come up to, and 266, and I forgot to grab the card for that, but 266 actually referred to one of the going caching cards that you had to have. Chad may have it here. I just saw you run off, but so just a simple embellishment. Okay, you got it?
Let me look here. Just let me in my box.
All right, I'm gonna go to a full screen on this. So just a simple embellishment from the trees that are on here. Now, the way that I don't have the lock on here right now because his lock was right here, but the way you would figure that out, Chad kind of mentioned before, you had these path tags, and this is just a really cool way of using these path tags. Now, on the back, they had the vanity codes on here, and they were in a ROT 13. So, and those that don't know what a ROT 13 is, hey, we got a show about that. It's called Puzzle Talk. No, it's really easy. It's the 26 letters of the alphabet, and A refers to the 13th letter, and so forth. So that's what it is. So you would take the code that would be on one of these path tags, and you would put it into this coin, and this is a decipher coin. I'm going to set the camera down for a second. And so here's the coin itself. And once again, it looks like one of the doors. And it has this little slide open. So up here, and you would find the word that would be on that path tag. So that first one is, see if I can find it. It was...
That word you're on is Model T.
Yeah, it was touring. So I'd have to find the word touring. And so I would spin the gears here, kind of spin it, and it actually sets up the word. You can kind of see the words in here. So I'd find touring, and once I find touring, it would show the number of the first of the code. So it went left to right. So for top to bottom, it was a 4-digit code. So once you got that, then you were able to get into the box. Then once you got into the box, this is what they did on the inside. So here we go. This is really, really cool. Okay.
So for those who didn't attend, this was a Roaring 20s theme event. So everything was based on the 1920s.
Correct. And so when you open the box, there's what you actually saw. So this is what's inside in there. It was a different type of speakeasy. And this one's called the piano room. This is the one I really liked. You got the cat down here that spilled the milk. You have liquor bottles everywhere. There's mirrors. And then what you actually use to stamp your card, of course, is a stamp. And that's what's right here. So that's just the stamp that they used, that we'd use to stamp our cards. So this one was the red one, which led into another puzzle. So that's just something really simple. Now they kind of jokingly call these refrigerators because of this little button up here. If you actually watch down here, when I push the button, the light goes off and on. So that's just something really cool that they added to that. And I think another really cool way is how you can actually change that out. It's just a simple LED, and that's up here in the top, as you can see here. I'll pass this off here to Chad here in just a second. To show, I'll spin it around and I'll show you how you can actually change that, because that's actually a nice little nifty way of locking something that people may not even realize that's actually there. Yeah, and I've seen Pizza Ninja, the better to spill the beans than to spill the milk. I don't know. It could be either way. It depends on what the problem could be. But all these items in here, you can go to a craft store and pick them up. These are basically, it's dollhouse furniture and different aspects that just kind of really cool the way to maybe make a diorama behind plexiglass or different things that you can just really, really cool. I've seen somewhere where a door opened and inside looked like there was a bird's nest with a bird sitting in there, and it was all fake. Just kind of startles you at first because you think you open up this birdhouse and you might have found the wrong one. Just another way of kind of doing that embellishment, just kind of making it really, really cool as you add it into it. But they just did such a great job from the interior of these, and they had 6 of these made, and they are all different themes on the inside. So, and then of course the door, once again, is the 266, which ties into even the coin that goes with it. And so this was just a really cool way that they did that. So let me, I'm going to jump back here to Chad real quick. And as I turn this around, so let you go ahead and show what you got.
Yeah, no worries. So for those who haven't attended, one of the big things that you go in caching is you get your own cache card. You can purchase your own cache card and you collect them. So everybody has their own number on the back of the cache card with your own trackable code that they give you. So you had to find the cache cards for these boxes. And in the back, they actually had a spot here to stamp. So this is for 266, which is, here, that Derek had, that number. But this one kind of got worn off. Yeah. We can go here with number 8. Yeah, we could restamp it. Thanks. This is number 8. And so it was green 8 on it. So you just had to find this, stamp it with that 8. And then there was another part. So every time when you got all 6 of these, it actually gave you a secret coordinate, right, to a secret cache. And so you'd had 2 more cards you had to collect that had 3 different colors on them. So you'd have to find, in order to get the coordinates, you had to find the number. So this is green 8. So in the green box would be a number 8. You'd write in a number 8 in there. So every time you had one, it was a different color. You'd write it in on 2 different cards and give you a coordinates to what, a bonus cache or a secret cache.
Right. And that was just really cool. And as I'm looking at this, I'll have to look at that, Victoria. Victoria says there's a tiny switch on the lamp that turns it on. That'll be cool. Is she
being serious? I don't know.
I hope I'll look for that. It's a tiny little lamp with a tiny little switch. So that's really cool. So, all right. So I'm gonna go back to the camera real quick. And so here's the back of the cache itself. Very simple. But if you actually look up here, this is the door right here. So you can't see how that opens up. I'm going to have to step away from the microphone just for a second to do this.
Yeah, no worries.
Because I got to use both hands and I can't hold the camera and that at the same time. So
we can still hear you.
All right. So what you do, it's actually use a magnet. And I got to find where it's at. There it is. So then
it's just a child lock.
It's just a baby lock. So it's just a simple baby lock that actually unlocks it. And then there's the light itself back in here. But I thought this was really cool for cache maintenance, that this is just another way that if you build a gadget and you need to get into your electronics, that might be a really great way of being able to get into how you need to do this. Do it. I mean, you can put a padlock, you can put different locks on there, but if you can disguise this really well, you may never even know how to get into that. So, and then you just kind of, it'll slide back down. You just kind of have to lift that little lip up just a little bit to get it in there. And then it's locked once again. So I think that was just a really great way of being able to do that. And I thought that was a really cool way that even for others doing cache maintenance, that may be a great way to hide the electronics and for them to be able to get into it, and an easy way for the cache owner to be able to fix that.
Yeah. So it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I think the way getting into it is really cool, because it doesn't make it very obvious that that's where you need to go. And if you had something on there, someone would probably think it's part of the puzzle and try and open it up and mess something up. So,
right.
What did Forrest Away can say? Chad could use that for the birdhouse he's working on. I might use something. We'll see. This gave me some ideas.
Yeah. Like I said,
that's for another show.
That's for another show.
So, back to embellishments on cat. Did you have more to go on this here?
No, not on this one. I don't know. It's all you know.
So that was really cool. When I saw that, I thought that's a really unique way to hide a cache. And even if you made a cache like that, and part of it was just had that layout in there, the design, the piano, everything like that.
Oh,
I would give it a favorite point. I think that's really cool. And you could actually do secret stuff in there that people would have to count to get the final code to a lock in there. So inside
Alberto says some of us thought there were more puzzle stuff in there. Right.
Like I was saying, if you had to count bottles, I think you had bottles in there, and if they were different colors or something, you'd have to count them or count how many hats, or who knows what's in there to make the puzzle.
Yeah, in fact, that even goes back to, I have last one, the Epidemic treasure chest. That was from the same part that I got last time too, that they stained it and made it look old and did some embellishments into it as well. And there were hints in that for the escape room. So when they actually did the escape room when back then for the pirate theme, there were hints in the treasure boxes for that. So
that's cool. Yeah, the escape room was another story. That was fun.
Yeah, that's another story. A lot of this, my channel this week, you'll get to see the GTN network, and spilling some beans this time. This is me spilling them. GTN network, kind of us, those that were there, kind of going around and solving these and getting into the escape room. So that's this week's video on my channel, Find the Cache. So that's just kind of, we're all kind of doing some follow-ups, and then of course Sunday show we're talking with a group of us that went are back on talking about going caching as well. So this is the going caching follow post party type stuff this week on the Geocache Talk
Sunday
Network.
show.
Yep, this week. So all right, Chad, what were some of the other ones you had?
No, we were just talking about embellishments and other things I've done on caches just to embellish it. That is not a big deal to do. It's pretty simple, but it makes that, it kind of gives it that wow factor. Is like little things like on the signal on carbonite. You can't see it really here with all this junk in the way, but there's a plate down here. So every maker has a plate in their on the stuff they make. So my plate here, so I made an extra copy of it. This is the carbonite that's that plate that's on the signal and carbonite. So it actually looks real, and it just kind of gives it, when people are looking at stuff, that kind of wow over the top factor.
Right.
So that's what, I'm thinking, I like to stick on them, as well as, if you have a cache and you want to do a little sign, you can do little signs. Like this is an Adventure Lab cache. This is a fence sign that hangs onto a fence. So fence companies would normally have these signs, right? And then the code for the Adventure Lab is right here that you'd type in. And so real easy, inexpensive ways to embellish stuff, or just give it that extra wow factor or pop.
Right. Vinyl,
vinyl, stuff like this. Real easy to make vinyl. Most people have Cricuts, and you can cut this stuff out on Cricuts. This is on, I think, this cache here. So you stick it on the cache, it kind of gives you that extra
that extra wow factor there.
Right. And I'm just even looking at into stuff that's in your back wall. I mean, you got your steampunk backpack back there.
Yeah.
That just has some
That
simple
has all
embellishment.
kinds of stuff on it. Yeah.
And I know it's strapped to the wall. I know you can't bring that out forward. But that's just something that's really neat. That kind of adds that to you have your face hugger back here over on your left shoulder in a case.
Yeah.
I see Grogu over there. Grogu's on the other side with Signal in the pram.
Oh yeah.
Just
I'm working on finishing that up.
Now, is that going to be a cache too?
Which one? Grogu?
Grogu, yeah.
No.
That would be a cool cache.
I'm just making it for fun. Well, little things like this, so I made one that's a safe puzzle, right? Puzzle box. Right. And so you just make it look like a safe. So you use the hammered steel on it, right? And then the safes always have these little lines around them with the safe company name. Little things like that you do to your cache really make it pop and give it that extra wow factor. And then I'm sure everybody's seen my other bomb cases and stuff.
Yeah. So Jeff from Cache Line says, "How old is Signal? Is there a Signal baby?" LOL.
I don't know. You talk to HQ, they have them all. Yeah, frogs breed like crazy.
Yeah, Nikki got a little keychain while she was at going caching that she put on her caching bag of Signal. I mean, it's only maybe 3 inches tall, if that.
Yeah, I have lots of different Signal babies in here somewhere.
So, but just like we were saying, just some simple ways that you can embellish your cache. I would love to see in the chat different ways that maybe you have embellished one of your caches. And if you we'd love to see different embellishments, and send us an email, and you can do that to gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com. Would love to see different embellishments and different finished work that you've done on your caches itself. Just kind of what adds to that wow factor, to that, holy cow, that's really cool. I wish I would have thought about that. Just something simple. It doesn't take a lot. Just something really neat. LEDs, we've talked about before, will add so much, but just a simple paint job, and maybe like going to the craft store and getting a cat that spilled some milk or something like that and put it in there. Different things that you can put on there just will add so much to your cache builds itself. And it's one of those things that's really cool. All right. I saw you pick up something, and I think I know.
Oh yeah. So I was going to talk about distressing, but real quick, you know what I think I need to make is a plush Signal tadpole.
Yeah.
And that's the baby.
That's the
Signal.
baby.
But anyways, yeah, that's the baby. Talking about distressing. Distressing is really, really simple to do. And we can show it on a podcast, but something like this. This is a miniature pit droid, a 50% size one. And, this is just painted, but it's distressed. So it looks like it's actually been rubbed on and used, and abused quite a bit. Right. Doing something simple like that actually adds that extra wow pop factor, which is in that can, what he did on that ammo can there. You can see where he actually used the brush, and he actually just painted over a little bit of silver on there.
I think it shows it better on this one. There it is.
Yeah, it shows it much better on there. And so that whole distressing like that looks really, really good, especially on the edges. So the high points is where you really want to get it, because that's typically the part that's going to rub on anything, which is kind of this. If you go back here to the camera, on the pit droid here, typically if it's going to rub on anything, it'll be the top or the round edges, corners, or even these edges here. So that's where you typically want to do your distressing, is areas that would see more wear and tear. Same thing here on this here, right? So
you can see all my dog in the background.
Yeah,
I think I have an Amazon delivery.
I wasn't sure if that was yours or mine. So you can see the wear and tear. It's kind of hard to see on here, but right. This is fun, as well as just making it is just a fun thing to make. But anyways, adding that distressed look, the aged look is a really easy way to make it pop.
Right, and we mentioned it earlier. We're talking about Rick's. And so just this simple embellishment, just adding this little window. And he's been on the show before talking about this with these little mushrooms on the top of it. I had to go back through and find, that's how you get into it. But then there's how it comes out as part of the mechanism. But just that simple brushwork that he did with the paint, and you can do that with just kind of, don't need that part of it on there. Just simple painting of the different aspects of how you paint it is just one of those. It's really cool how you can do that. And I'm trying to see if there's another one that he sent me as well that has some really neat embellishments to it. But that one for sure, and that was one of the ones that he talked about here on the show itself. And I'll see if there's another shot because
he does a really good job with his caches.
Yes, he does. I'm looking for the one of them that he sent me one time, that him and his son built together, and it was a reed switch. Okay, here's another one. See if I can go. So this one here, it was a little can, it looks like, and it had LEDs in it. And when you lift it up, up here is actually a switch that this would actually light up. And I'm just see if I can.
There's a sound module in there. It looks like.
Yeah, there may be a sound module, but it's a diorama, and if you actually look here, the log is in a bison tube, but when it lifts up, looks like there's sound module, so it may have like water sounds into it or something, but then maybe have some LEDs that would light up as well. But just another simple way, and there's kind of the locks of it.
Same thing, the geocache sticker on the front. And that's those boxes there, those containers at Home Depot. Here's one here that I used, and it's what I use actually for UV lights to sit in for a night cache. These are like $5 or $6 at Home Depot. So I mean, you really can't beat the price of these things. The only thing I don't like is how they open up, but what he did there makes gives it that wow factor. And for $5 or $6, that's a really inexpensive cache.
Right. And then here's another one. I'm gonna go to this one again, and then here's another one. Just kind of adding a tree into it, and there may be some more stuff that goes in there, but you can see the batteries in there. And it has some LEDs on here on the side that would just kind of light it up as well. So I mean, you're finding an ammo can, but the log's in a preform. But that's just another example of how just adding something simple embellishments can do it. Now, like Adi said earlier when we asked the question if you have any that has some really great embellishments, and he said too many to mention, LOL. And if you haven't gone up into around Mingo and Kansas City, and I said Kansas City, but up in Kansas where Adi's got a lot of his caches, you will find some really cool caches that maybe even really simple, but the embellishments on them are phenomenal. They're just really great. And so he's done a really good job on that. I'm going to try and catch up on the chat here real quick. And I see you reading it as well.
Yeah, and Dave mentions Mod Podge was his go-to for the graphics. So what he did was use Mod Podge. If no one's used it, I actually have some back here I can show you. He would actually put the paper down or a sticker, print on a piece of sticker or paper, and then Mod Podge over the top of it, which then gives it that seal over the top of the paper itself. So then any kind of moisture or anything won't ruin the paper.
All right, I just got to show this one real quick.
Actually,
this is just another creative way of. This is a creative LPC right here. Looks like a mouse trap and a yellow nano underneath it. So that's just a creative LPC that you could probably find somewhere. That's just kind of funny. So I just wanted to show that real quick and that was another one of Rick's. I'm just kind of going through trying to find some more embellishments that he's got.
This is one of Dave's, what he was talking about. This is a piece of paper or a sticker, and you can see he Mod Podged over it. Then that also keeps the moisture away from the thing.
Right.
On there. What's his phone number on there? I should probably make sure. Didn't show that too much. Dave gets a bunch of phone calls. It's my fault.
Sorry, Dave. Well, he puts it on all his caches anyways. Everybody doesn't have his phone number yet. What you been doing? Haven't been finding Dave's caches, evidently. So, but yeah, we do gadgets and different things, but we can still even take those gadgets and make them even better. And that's kind of what the finished work is what we're really talking about tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, we got back late this week and we didn't have time really to put anything together.
Now, here's a good
but
tip.
I think this is a great subject.
I do too. Here's a great tip, and this comes from Neil Moore. Put a smear of Vaseline on what you are painting, and then when you paint, the paint dries, wipe it off, or wax or whatever resists the paint. That will add some really cool effect to it as well. That's a really great idea. Thanks, Neil.
Yeah, I've not tried the Vaseline.
Yeah, I haven't tried that either. Okay, Bell's asking, do you put Mod Podge down first, then paper, then more over the top? You can, yes, because it actually will glue it down there as well, and then you can, I've done it both ways. So that really, I've done it both ways. How about you, Chad?
I've not used Mod Podge on any cache, but I would probably print it on a sticker, stick it on, and then do Mod Podge. But either way will work. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's not going to hurt either way.
Quincy Cryptid says, make sure you get the outdoor Mod Podge.
Okay, and so Dave says yes, under and over.
Yes, I was just coming up to that. And Tom says he'll be calling later about your car warranty after the show, by the way, Dave. So now that he's got your number, sorry. But yeah, this is like I said, we're different ways that we can do this. And then Jeff Cache Line is saying, I'm always afraid of caches so intricate like that getting stolen, lost, broken, vandalized. So much work and effort, always a risk putting them out. Very true. But if you don't put them out, then you're not spreading the fun and everything like that for those out there. I mean, it is a risk that we all take as gadget builders anyways, because there is a lot of money. There is a lot of time and a lot of sweat and blood and a lot of blood. I mean, I've nailed my fingers a few times or hit them or whatever. But they into that. And when they do go missing or break or that aspect of it, it does, it hurts. It does hurt. But at the same time, getting those logs and reading the logs that those that did find it and everything is well worth the effort and everything that you put into it. So
yeah, Tricash just said he lost 2 this week, which is that, I don't care who you are, that hurts. You put a lot of time and effort in there, even though you can make it and put a new one back. That is terrible.
Yeah. That's. So when making hockey goalie helmets, artists will sprinkle the helmet with water before airbrushing. When it dries, it has a natural water drop effect. That's cool. So if you're doing airbrush, if you're doing different paint techniques, that's another really great way to do it. If you know somebody that can do flame work, there was a cache that went up in flames that we've talked about a couple times, that the paint work was just really, really cool.
The Airbrushed Flames, I mean, it looked real. It looked like real flames up the birdhouse and everything, and it got blown up.
I would have to go through a whole bunch of chats to find it, and I don't remember the guy's name right off that he sent it to me, but it was just such a really great way of doing a cache. Your superhero in Jeopardy, the way you have the lights on the inside, of course, that embellishment, that was really cool. I mean, the whole cache is cool, but even that was just really neat how you did that.
It's fun. I like doing that. And just like what Chad said here, he's looking forward to making one of the ones that were stolen better. When I put something out, I'm always thinking, or after I put it out, I'm like, oh, I could have done this to make it better. I like working with other people too, like Dave, who actually originally had that cache, and be like, what can I do to make it a little bit different? And fortunately for me, I have power, right? So I can make.
You have the power.
Yeah, I have the power. I have power to run the cache. So, so anyways, you can do different things, and that's what I really like doing. But I also like always thinking of a way to make the cache better. So,
right. And there's always room for improvement. And we're always trying to think of different ways to do different things. Like one of my, we can go into this, and I'm going to go into this more later on my channel. But one of the caches I built on my channel after beta testing in two different locations, I've come to find out that, I think I need to go ahead and get some better reed switches to put in this. That's going to help it, because they're not as accurate as I want them to be. They keep failing as it goes along. So I'm going to actually have to invest in some better reed switches and maybe even coming up with a better way of how I'm wiring those and still have the same effect. But that's just part of even beta testing. And when you put them out, what can you do differently? As much as we hate our caches being destroyed and breaking, sometimes the second time around is going to be better. I don't know if I ever put a cache out for the third time once it breaks, but that second time will be generally a lot better than the first time.
Yeah. And that goes, one thing to think about when you're ordering parts is sometimes the cheapest part isn't the best part.
Right.
To buy. So the real cheap reed switches, sometimes maybe they won't work right. They won't function correctly. There's different parts that you can buy, and you might be able to get on Amazon really inexpensively, but are they actually going to work all the time? You're going to have any issues with them. So that's something that you need to test. And that's something that we typically test on all of our kits over and over. And I've learned now which parts and what brands I like to purchase from.
Right. And that's why our prices sometimes may say, well, that's a lot of money. Well, we're trying to make sure quality. We're all trying to make sure of that you're not going to have to do a lot of cache maintenance for failure of the part itself. I mean, if it's a plastic ammo can, if you're putting a plastic ammo can out in the winter and it freezes, I can't do anything about the integrity of the plastic can. And we've watched Josh accidentally kick one into a hole accidentally on his channel before. Or even try and pick one up and it was frozen and it snapped. I mean, the plastic is brittle. That's just, there's no way around that. But Bill asked, would you put it back in the same, in a new location? It really depends. I mean, sometimes you can, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It just depends on your location and what you're having to do there.
Yeah.
And then
location, like Dave says, there is the best defense.
Right.
That absolutely true. We did an event where they put out a bunch of caches, and when the event went live, 4 of them were already gone. And they happened to put them around homeless camps. Well, that's probably not a good place to put them because they're going to see that and go, oh, look at this. There's a free container. I'm going to take it. So think about where you're putting it. If there's a lot of traffic going in and out, if it's in the woods, do people walk right next to it all the time, or do you go a little bit further up off the woods so it's not so obvious? Put it underneath the fake rocks so it's not so obvious, anything like that.
Right.
And if you get permission from a building owner, there's lots more options you can go with.
Right. And I know, go back on the embellishments, I know on one of his caches, he had some moss on the top of it originally. Well, he found out that the birds like that moss to make for their nests. So his moss was being muggled by birds. So when you do embellishments, you got to think about wildlife as well. What are they going to be wanting to get if it's on the outside of it? If you're using part of the outside of it for a puzzle, how is that going to wear and tear? So you have to think about that aspect of it too. If you're painting it and then you have a nice lacquer or seal over top of it, that they can see it, and that'll work really great. Just really think about those different aspects of it. If you have individual parts, like on the picture, I'm just going to bring it back up again, of the ammo can. It's got the Slave 1 from Boba Fett on there. What if that is key to solving the puzzle? It's not on this one because it's a Simo ammo can, but if that's something that's key to solving the puzzle, what happens if somebody steals that? I've seen caches that have been named different things and they've had this embellishment, but when I found it, I'm like, why was it even called this? Because that piece of embellishment has been stolen. People thought it was swag or something and they just has taken it. So those are things that when you're doing and these embellishments, if you want to use it as a different type of puzzle to be able to get into it, how are you going to secure that so it doesn't get stolen? Or do you have a backup as well? So that's just something that you need to think about when you're doing that as well. Is your laser printer all of a sudden working, Chad?
No.
So I'm reading this. Tom says wildlife muggles. Yep, it happens. Dave is saying fake leaves turn pink after sun exposure. So that's good to know. So just different. You have to think about how these things are going to weather as well. The Force Awakens, don't place a fake rock cache near water unless you want a 9-year-old to practice skipping stones with it. Very true. Very true. Bell says, I have to work on my asking businesses for permission skills. Business permissions. Yeah, we do. And that's something that when hopefully with the event here in Memphis, we'll have a lot of these different gadgets and stuff like that will be actually at businesses. Because I know personally for a lot of my gadgets that are more expensive, I've put them at businesses. And I haven't here because I haven't gotten necessarily all the businesses that I want to deal with yet. And involved and hooped in there yet, but that's coming. But in Charleston, they were at businesses of friends, and I never had those were the ones that weren't muggled. The ones that were destroyed and muggled were the ones that were out in the woods or not at businesses. So those were one that people are less likely, I feel, to damage something that's attached to a business than they are to do something somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, and the skills technically, I mean, every cache you place, you're supposed to ask for permission. So it should come pretty simple after you ask one or two people, but we know how that works sometimes.
Yeah, and we went into that in our class as well at Going Caching when we talked about different aspects of it, of permission. Yeah, we're supposed to ask permission, and so yeah. Spiders, yeah, I've had a lot of spider removal, cache maintenance on my birdhouses recently. Really big spiders. So yeah, that's just I've had those. Some of the logs that you get when people find those is rather hilarious. Just telling you. I've had some of those, but one of the things after this event, just thinking about a lot of different of the gadget caches and probably one in particular. When they're in, Audie can attest to this as well, and so can Dave, and so can you, Chad. Caches generally are not found 400 times in a weekend.
Right.
That 400 times being found in a weekend is really rough on a cache. So if you are in an area that has a Gadget cache or has that type of cache and you've had a huge event, a mega, you're going to want to go do cache maintenance pretty much right after it because there's going to be something it needs to be fixed. We saw a cache brand new that got broke first day
before we even had the FTF.
Yeah, it got broken during somebody trying to get it as an FTF, and so and it was a really great cache. It was big. It had a great theme to it. It was multiple stage, sequential puzzle, gadget cache. Aspects of it broke before just people being rough. And that's something that we have to, as a gadget cache builder, you have to think about. We try and think of, well, they're geocachers, they're going to take care of it. No, not necessarily. Not a lot of these gadgets, because sometimes they're trying to brute force it, or they don't understand it, or they think you may have to.
They get impatient or frustrated.
Impatient and frustration. I mean, so there's just a lot of different aspects that can happen. And yeah, Audie says, yes, it is.
Yeah, when I hide caches for events, typically I spend that day, I plan that day just to go out and do maintenance, right? If there's going to be a lot of people finding it. So that's just the way it is.
Sorry.
FTF first to fudge it up. That's good.
Fudge it up. So yeah, that's the truth. Sorry, I just about spit my drink all over my microphone. That would not have been good when I read that.
Yeah, that's good.
Funny.
We're gonna have to
save that one instead of first to flop, like we said in the in our play that we did. It's the first to fudge it up. And then Dave says, I saw the magic blocks, got a lot of faves from the caches at Going Caching. So yeah, so that one went out, and that was really good that went out this last weekend.
Yes, thanks to Tricassius for showing us how that's done.
Yep.
That is a huge hit. So and everybody there, I mean, they knew where that came from. So
right.
Which is really cool. I mean, it's awesome to have a name out there and be known for those magic blocks. And everybody goes, oh, that's a Tricassius build.
Right. So that's just really great. So, all right, Chad, any final words for tonight before we jump off?
No.
Kind of wrapping everything up.
Yep. Nope. Just next show is on. I probably should have looked this up. I started to. While you're talking, our next show we're going to be going over. We're going to go back to the Birdhouse. So, we talked about last show we actually built a birdhouse, and now this next show we're going to have the listeners on as well to come on and do the Birdhouse challenge as far as what you're going to put in it, the puzzle. Anything like that. So I'm going to finish up my birdhouse and I'm going to put a puzzle in it and show you how to do all that. So it'll be fun. And that show is, let's see here.
It's on a Tuesday.
26th.
Tuesday the 26th, October 26th.
Yep. Tuesday, October 26th.
That's when we'll be revealing the different birdhouses. And remember, if you have a birdhouse that you want to come on the show and show to all of us, simply just send us an email at gadgettalkpodcast@gmail.com. And so send us that. Let us know that you want to come on. That way we can get you the link for you to come on. Also, you can always send us a message at Gadget Talk Podcast on Instagram, and that we'll get that as well. So yeah, we just really, and tag us on Instagram. If you're finding a really cool cache, or you find one of these birdhouses or something that's got really cool embellishment, tag us on Instagram. We'd love to see that. That'd be really great. Or send us an email, send us a picture of it, send us a Facebook message to either myself or Chad, any of us. Just really love to see that. So that's just kind of what we've been talking about tonight. So that's just some really great ideas. I've loved all the tips that we've gotten from everybody in the chat tonight of different ways, different techniques, the painting techniques. Of course, Rumacats. Where do you see?
He's going to be on here. Yeah, some stuff.
He's going to be on here and have some stuff to present as well. So that's really great. Thanks, Tom. So if you have watched, hit that like button, hit that smash that for us tonight. I would love to see that. Just a lot of different ideas. Like I said, just some different painting techniques that we've learned tonight, and the Mod Podge, the little simple things to brighten up your cache. I mean, just simple, the paint job, or just a simple, the path tags, how they were able to solve this, or the trees that are on here. And of course, the simple of what's inside of here.
See, I think you could do some kind of puzzle in there on that too, to make that part of the way to get to another box or something that's locked.
Right. And after the show, I am going to look for that light switch on that lamp, by the way. So
if you see it, you're going to have to post on your Instagram. I want to see it work.
I will. Actually, I'm going to let you talk just for a second. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick.
Okay. But on something like this, to make it another puzzle inside, I'd put a piece of plexiglass on the front, obviously, so people cannot get in there and touch it. Because I think if this was out in the wild, I think someone would destroy it. But I would probably make it a tot cache. So you have to use some tots on it. So maybe on the mirror, you could put a number that's UV in there. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is amazing. I didn't even know that even did. That makes it that much better. That was worth the money on it.
Yes. I'm sorry.
That's so cool.
That is really cool.
So it's actually a little switch in there?
There's a little switch, just like, let's see if I can. I got to find a pointer. Cool. Hold on. I can't get my finger in there now.
That's cool.
There's a little
you could do
the base of it.
Wow. That is really cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah. You could see all the bottles in there too. Go down a little bit on that cache. There's a bunch of bottles. You could do part of the code on different color bottle tops or something like that.
3 candlesticks and
yeah.
4 roses,
so that's really
2
cool.
Mirrors, 2 pillars, 2 chairs.
Yeah. So anyways, it's up to you, what you could do, but I would personally put a piece of plexiglass on the front of that and then make another code, another puzzle that they have to find to get actually a code to the log.
Right. So maybe something up here, the log would actually be here, and you'd have to open up that instead of the stamp, and you could have it just be a simple thing in there that you could do.
Yep, and you could use a barrel lock on it or something with 3 digits or 4. It's up to you.
Right. So that's just really cool. Yeah. Sorry. Everybody's like, holy cow, it does light up. Gary goes, it lights up. Dave is saying it's a Tiffany lamp. But yeah, that's just a really great way. So But I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. It's been a great night. I know it's a little bit different than what we normally do. We didn't go into a build, but this is just another way of making a really great cache, a gadget or a creative cache, how you may be able to use these different things for puzzles to get into them as well. So, but thank you for joining us tonight. And don't forget to tune in on this Sunday for the Plano Sunday show, or the POSS is what we call it. We're going to be talking about going caching some more, or gone caching, as I believe is what Gary called it, with the crew that was there.
Right. So it's over now.
See more of that. It's over. I'll probably just leave this on my desk my table here, so we can show this again for those that did not get to see it tonight, and we might be able to go into that as well. But really, thank you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so remember also next year, July 16th, we have Cache Fest going on.
That's right.
So make sure you make your plans to attend. And right now we have a limited number. We sold a bunch this weekend, but we have a limited number of the coins on there. So I can get them out there. So really cool coins, limited number. We're not making any more after this. So go on there and order your coins.
Right. And you go to cachefest.com to get that. And then you just go to the coins to the store on there, and you can find the coins on there. But yeah, thank you for joining us tonight, and we will catch you on the 26th. And remember, send us an email if you have a Birdhouse cache that you're building that you want to be featured on that show. But until then, we'll see you this weekend for Sunday show. Good night, everybody.
All right.